I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, just, it's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you? All right, on that note.
What are you saying, bro? You are.
Stop, bro! Stop, bro, help me and stop!
Welcome to Straight Red Card. I just want to be clear that the Derek calling into that show was not me.
Lies.
I already knew the answer. I need to call that show. All right. Welcome to Straight Red Card, both on X and YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I thought there wasn't going to be much to talk about tonight, but lo and behold, there is. Unbelievable. Just never stops, Brett. For once, just do an hour show and just get the fuck off this thing. But no, absolutely not. Can't happen. So here we are. Anything interesting going on in your life?
You know, that Australian, not in my life personally, by the way, but
right.
You know, the Australian porn star that ended up hooking up with like 101 guys in like a night or whatever it was.
That's a lot less than that 1,000 gal.
Yeah, but that was like over a 24-hour period or a 12-hour period or something like that. This was like overnight, I guess. But regardless, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently she was she had her Aussie citizenship stripped from her, and she's been kicked out of her country.
For what?
Apparently some ladies in Down Under decided to file a petition and got enough signatures because of underage sex. Now, mind you,
she had underage sex?
No, that's what they said. Apparently, everybody in that shot was 18 or over,
and
they all consented.
Okay, that's cool. My other idea or thought was, is porn legal in Australia, like to shoot porn? Because I've never seen anything about Australian porn. Like, there's Japanese, there's European, there's Eastern European. U.S. obviously has a porn industry. I don't think I can ever recall that Australia has a porn industry, so it might be banned in Australia.
Well, you're not allowed to take animals into Australia, so I don't know.
Wait, are you calling her an animal? Because
she's already in. She's from Australia, so she's already of the area. She's part of the habitat.
So she was born in Australia, and they're kicking her out of the country?
Yeah, because of a petition, apparently. A
petition?
Claiming that there's underage sex. So.
All right. I demand a real article with real news here.
No, she was on a podcast. She said it herself.
Okay, yeah, I want to confirm that that's what happened. Not that she didn't just up and leave. And I want to figure out sort of the background of how the porn industry functions or is accepted at all, if not in Australia. Because I think there's something going on there.
I can't remember what her last name or what her name is now. It's like Lillian something or whatever. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now. So
why does Isaiah post and people keep posting Angela White? What does that have to do with this?
I don't even know who Angela White is. I'm assuming she partakes in that industry.
Oh, yeah. She's a porn star.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Do the research, Derek, please. I didn't know this was coming up tonight, Tony, or else I would have done the research. As you know, I can do research now. And because of my new VPN. I can go anywhere and do the research I need to do to be critical of and continue to be critical of the porn industry and how poor they are at their jobs. It's really, really pretty bad. And I will continue to do it. And as far as Australia doing whatever the hell they want with their citizens, that seems to be a pretty good trend that's been going on there for at least 5-6 years. So I'm not shocked by it. All right.
I don't see any news articles about it.
There you go.
So
yeah, there you go. I think more research is necessary. Okay. Anyhow, people in Australia don't have the right to free speech. I don't know if you knew that. They don't have a First Amendment. It's essentially kind of like, there's no basic rights. There are some, but they don't have like a constitution or not the kind of like a constitution we have, right?
Sure.
So where you have protected individual rights. So the government can get very heavy-handed there if they want. Kind of like we've seen in Canada as well. It is what it is. By the way, for the 69 of you giggity already here, just 6 minutes into the show, I'm excited. I'm not break out the lube excited, but I'm pretty excited you're all here this early. All right. Well, Brett, you got more fibs?
Yeah. Well, let's continue down that path. I guess it's not quite OnlyFans material, and I know that's just going to bog our comment section later on. But
right
here we got a female astronaut.
Okay. All right. Why is he called? Does he know who she is? Is she really an astronaut, or is she just wacky and so far out there that that's a joke that she's an astronaut? Like this girl's.
Well, I'm pretty sure everybody in the plane saw Uranus. So.
But don't. Brett will be here all week. But all right. Female astronaut forces Southwest flight to return to the gate after running naked up and down the aisle for 25 minutes. It seems pretty excessive. 25 minutes seems pretty excessive. It took them 25 minutes.
Well, the forces them to return to the gate. So maybe they were being taxied out and they were just sitting on the tarmac for a long time and she lost her mind.
Well,
I've already been stuck on one of these things before.
But it will take them 25 minutes to taxi back? It seems like a long time. It seems as though maybe there were cameras
no, it just says,
and the pilots were enjoying the show.
It doesn't specify that it took 25 minutes to taxi back to the gate. It just says that she was running around naked for 25 minutes.
Brett, that's even worse. That's a long time to be juggling your juggles in front of kids, women, old men who are probably enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, I was when we went to Jamaica a couple years back, we were stuck on that tarmac heading home from Jamaica for like 45 minutes. No airflow, no nothing. While there's one freaking, takeoff area.
Yeah, but no naked women.
Landing and takeoff. Well, I'm kind of surprised. It's like 900 degrees in that tube. I'm kind of surprised nobody did get naked.
So you're saying that maybe the plane drove her, but apparently somebody said in the comments she got fired from something.
Well, I would imagine she's no longer an astronaut if that's the case.
PT-69 flight attendant recently got fired for twerking on the plane and posting it on TikTok. Oh, so she got fired, and so she decided, what?
That's a completely different story then.
She's not an astronaut.
Well,
No, she got fired for twerking, and after getting fired for twerking, she said, "Okay, I'm doing it all, baby. I'm taking it all off, and I'm twerking." Is that what happened?
She's dancing around. She's having a little fun. Look at.
She's headbanging.
I got to stop this because we're gonna get dinged for that too.
Yeah. All right. Well,
yeah. See, CPT says that's a totally different story.
I have no idea then. I have no idea why she freaked out. I don't even know she's really an astronaut. And I wish when people would make these things on X and they put an astronaut, like what astronaut? Who? If you already know she's an astronaut, you obviously know who she is. Who is she? Provide some real info instead of just getting the hits.
I don't want to continue
Unlimited.
down the comment section. I have no idea what's going to be down there.
I demand more information.
Yeah.
All right. This is not enough information. No, not that kind of information. Like you're saying she's a female astronaut. Is she really, or are you just yanking her chain?
Maybe she's running up and down the aisle going, I'm a female astronaut.
Okay, well then say that. Female claiming to be an astronaut forces Southwest flight. That's how that should read then. Claiming to be an astronaut. I'm just asking, like, if you're going to post something this absurd, give us some information. Don't just, tell us some woman stripped and
Houston police detained her for medical evaluations. Yeah,
I bet. They're kind of medical. All right, we need to search your holes.
Yeah.
Make sure there's nothing in there. Cavity search.
Time to take your temperature.
Make sure not hiding any drugs up those holes. All right.
Yeah. Well, Derek, we've talked about this a couple times, but you attended my wedding.
I did. It was fun.
And I've got to say, if somebody did this at my wedding, I think it'd be funny.
Okay.
So here we got we got a wedding picture ruined because somebody drew a dick.
I will remember this the next time you renew your vows.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
So I guess you write on the heart, little note to the happy couple, and you drop it in this box. There's a glass front, and somebody decided to draw a penis,
a mushroom dick. Like I don't know. In my lifetime, I've never seen a penis like that. With a hammerhead penis like that.
Yeah. It's more like almost like a stingray.
I mean, it's ridiculous. The dimensions are all fucked up. I would like to see more. I know I'm complaining a lot tonight already. Yeah. I'd like to see more realistic penis drawings. That's my request.
Let's be frank. He, and I can almost guarantee you that he was probably really rushed. As everybody else is walking into the reception, he's got to quickly, indiscreetly draw a peen.
It's like a bell mushroom. I mean, it's gigantic. Small stem, giant head. Like
Alex is asking if it was the X.
Was that an X? Could have been. I don't know. Anyhow, the rest of the chips seem to be very nice. But maybe she was a virgin and this was their coming together. Derek has seen a lot of penises too. I have. Not in person. Not one-on-one. Pretty much just seen mine. And, on the wrestling team, we used to have to get up naked on the scales, the weight scales. They would never do that now. But back in the 80s, yeah, you had to strip down all the way. You couldn't even keep your underwear on.
I could just say, and Derek Ritchie makes weight, and all of a sudden he's like helicoptering up there.
I don't think I was helicoptering my freshman year. I hadn't hit my growth spurt yet. I was humbly getting up there, being weighed, and getting the off as soon as possible. Give me my fucking underwear.
Of course, I'm sure you were getting off up there, Derek.
No, I was really, really scared, to be honest with you. But that's what they used to do, and I couldn't even believe it then as a kid. I'm like, so we're gonna have to take off all our clothes to get weighed. We can't even keep our underwear on to get weighed to wrestle in a tournament. What the is going on here? This is weird. I kind of felt almost a little violated by that. And then the poor 112-pound guys were the 105-pounders. These are like 5'2", really small dwarf-like kids, usually freshmen. And they're getting up there. And yeah, for them, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
They're small dudes already. Now they're going to look even smaller.
Well, they may look like a tripod. You don't know.
No, that's not the case. Not many of us could bear to watch. Oh, God, can this get be over with soon?
All right, well, let's move on to not a soccer-related topic, but a topic created by a soccer player.
Okay. Eric
Ronaldo. You do it.
Okay. How many NBA players could last 15 minutes in a soccer game? Just name a couple. Please don't say Jokic. He wouldn't last 2 minutes. I just try to say that as Eric Winolda as I possibly could.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to really know my opinion about this? This is my real opinion because we talked about this kind of in the pre-show for about 2 minutes. I really don't give a fuck either way. Whether an NBA player can last 15 minutes in a soccer game, and I don't care if whether a soccer player can last 15 minutes in an NBA game. I don't care. They're totally different games, and I don't know why Eric's bringing this up.
Well, Eric was watching a couple of basketball games, and he just posed the question.
All right.
Eric, it's hypothetical. It's not hypothetical, I guess, but it's not meant to be super serious. Just, name a couple, Eric. Go for it.
Well, you know how X works. It's just going to antagonize a bunch of NBA guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's what this is all about. No, I'm not going to do it. If I'm going to do it, it ain't going to be like this.
I mentioned somebody.
I antagonize by shooting jizz all over the wall, not physically, but metaphorically, verbally. That's how I do it. I don't do this. I don't know what this is about. Like, okay, maybe he was bored watching some NBA games. I'd be bored watching the NBA too. Ooh, now there's antagonistic. Woo. Poke, poke, poke. I'd be bored watching NBA as well because it's boring. Sorry, it's not the NBA.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this on Monday or last Thursday's show too.
It's not the NBA I used to watch in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. It's a different game. Sorry, I'm just not adjusting, and I can't find it. Like, I'm a Pacers guy. Okay, where do I watch the Pacers? On what's that? Whatever channel starts with a B. Bally TV. What the fuck is that? Where is that? Who's got that? Am I going to add Bally so I can watch the Pacers play or whatever it turned into this season, which I don't even know what it is. So I'm just not going to waste my time. I got too many soccer games to watch, honestly.
Ultimately, the bigger question really is what position are we talking about? If you're talking about goalkeeper, anybody can stand goalkeeper for 15 minutes.
We're talking about missionary. That's the position we're talking about. All right.
You're going to last 15 minutes in that.
No, actually, I do pretty well. I have the opposite problem. All right.
I said Steve Nash. Probably even retired Steve Nash.
Yeah, he was a soccer player, though.
He was a soccer player. I cheated, okay?
Well, yeah.
Because that's what Ronaldo said to me. He goes, yeah, he's a soccer player. And I go, yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. John McEnroe, another other sports guy who could probably hang, or in his younger years could certainly hang. He's a former soccer guy. And he used to play in Steve Nash's fundraiser every year. John McEnroe.
Yeah.
Pretty good, too. Not a bad player. People are like, who's John McEnroe? Yeah, just once upon a time, maybe the best tennis player in the world for about 2 years. American player. Won a few Wimbledons, won a few U.S. Opens. Go ahead.
I was well known for saying that Serena Williams would lose to the 250th ranked male or whatever, something like that.
Well known for also quoting Serena Williams, who'd say
exactly. Yeah,
Andy Roddick would beat her 0-0.
6-0, 6-1 in like under 5 minutes or something like that, just 5-10 minutes.
And Serena also said, "I don't want to play against men. It's a totally different game." Those are all findable quotes.
I like playing with the women.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was like those two dudes at Big Red one time back in Bloomington who were like, yeah, I mean, the U.S. women's team is really good. Do you think they could beat the men? And I'm standing in line watching this shit. And I get up there, and they're ringing me up. I said, by the way, I've been covering this sport for 20 years. The women would get destroyed by the men's national team, 20-0. I said, they just recently lost to a youth team at FC Dallas. I don't remember what the score is anymore, but I let them know. And they just looked at me like, what the fuck just happened? They didn't even have anything to say back. All right. I just got my vodka and left.
Yeah. And Kumar said the same thing you said too. Serena said that as well. And it wasn't Serena that was upset. It was all the pundits on news channels and stuff like that. Hey, do you want to apologize? He goes, no, not really.
So when I was in high school, my senior year, I played against a gal named Lauren. I won't use her last name. She was the number 1 player from Carmel in the state. I was ranked number 26 in the state. Okay. In Indiana, I beat her 0-0 easily. And she cried. And this was because we had the same coach. So we did a practice. The coach thought it would be good for me to play against her to help her get better. And so I did. And
what does 0-0 mean? Like she just had no points period?
6-0, 6-0. No, she won some points. She couldn't win a game.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm referring to.
So you win 6 games in a set. It's 6-0. Of course, you got love 15, 30, 40. Sure. Then you win so that's a game. Yes. Did she win points? Yeah. I fucked up. I hit some in the net.
Did she get any points? Yeah, I fucked up.
I made some unforced errors. Shit happens. Yeah. But, on the grand scheme of things, when you're blasting 100+ mile per hour serve that she's doesn't get to see on a regular basis, doesn't seem very fair.
True.
So. All right. Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's kind of a tangent there we had.
Yeah. It's true. Yep.
What do we have? Tangents coming about.
Okay.
Jake took a 6-month break from his channel and decided to work with Men in Blazers. I almost said Men in Black, but
Men in Blazers. And then he struck some amazing deal with the guys in England.
I have no idea.
Same thing happening.
Only is doing the same thing.
Who's gonna have why doesn't somebody have the balls to take a chance on us? Take a chance on us. We won't even cuss.
Well, we did spend about the first 10 minutes talking about porn, so.
Yeah, but it was in a very research-like way. Right?
Yeah.
It was very technical, totally above, ground. I mean.
Well, if anybody grounded it, was that naked astronaut running around.
Right. We're just talking about current events in that case, right? That's a current event. I don't think any of those things are outside the norm. I think what we just said is easily something SNL could have covered, right? This isn't the end of comedy show, but how are these guys striking up deals? I mean, I guess by being mostly anonymous, because I don't know who the U.S. men's national team only people are. I don't know who they are. Maybe I've had a back and forth with them. I don't know. They don't follow you, do they? No.
Well, why would they follow me?
You're the straight red card, baby.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. They could be one of 3,000 other people who follow me compared to their 163,000 followers.
We're probably too lewd for them.
It could be.
I mean, I'm tired of hearing that, though. If you think the show's too lewd for your kids, I get it. Don't let your kids listen to it.
I thought you said too lube.
No lewd.
Lube or not?
To lube or lube? Not to lube. That is the question. Whether it is more noble for Matt. All right. I won't do more Shakespeare.
That's fair.
I know the whole speech. All right.
I don't think we're going to get struck by that. I think it's fair use at this point.
Yeah, but I don't want to bore people with Shakespeare. And I don't have any more jokes outside of the lube. So we'll just move on. All right. What else we got?
Well, we talked about Champions League looking to milk the U.S. population of their money by bringing some of their games and the finals stateside.
Yeah.
Right? Remember we talked about that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently Syria wants to be the first European league to play games in the U.S.
Well, they got, as it says, half the teams are almost owned by Americans. So I guess they've already got 9 guys who's going to go vote yes on this. And if they can get a few more, they'll probably get their way.
Well, they're looking to do this within the next 3 years.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
EPL's going to come and sweep the legs, man. They're going to come over and do it in 2 years.
It's a long flight from Italy. That's all I got to say. That is a long flight.
I mean, and I'd be pissed if I was a fan.
Yeah.
You have season tickets, or you just want to watch your team fucking play a game. And
now you got to fly to Las Vegas. Yeah.
You get shuttled over to Vegas or New York City or Miami.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I mean, unless they're playing games at noon, which is possible, I guess.
So much of this just money grab stuff.
Oh, it is. But you buy the season tickets. Are you going to get reimbursed for that missed game?
I mean, you might enjoy it if Juventus comes over and play somewhere where you can drive to, like Cincinnati or something like that.
Gauge that on the price of the tickets. I don't need to see them live that badly.
I know. You just watch it on TV.
It might even be cheaper for me to fly to Italy and watch it there in Turin than it would be to watch it, to go wherever I go here and watch it.
I doubt that.
That's fair. I mean,
yeah,
flight ticket alone would be pricey enough. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So.
Then the hotel and travel and taking taxis and Italian Ubers. Pronounced Uber in there in Italy.
Europe keeps bragging about how everything's within walking distance. I'm staying in Turin, then I gotta
that won't be.
It's gotta be within walking distance.
That won't be, and it's not true. Not everything's within walking distance in Europe. That's such a fucking lie. Just go visit Berlin and tell me that stadium is within walking distance of certain parts of Fürstendamm. It's just not. It's not. It's ridiculous to say that.
Well, I guess if you're talking about a major metropolis like that. Same thing like with New York.
Yeah. I just think people are smoking. I mean, those cities are gigantic. Berlin's a gigantic city. Now, they do have public transportation if you want to take that.
Yeah.
But, hey, lots of people back in when I was there, Germans drove. There were Opels all over that place. Audis, Opels, Volkswagens, you name it. All over the streets. So I don't know what's going on now, but
you said Opels, and I assumed you meant the gym.
No, car.
All these gyms on the ground in Germany.
Opel was a very famous at one point. They were in the rally championships back in the day. I don't know what they do now. I think they're actually owned by Ford or something crazy like that now. Opel, but my family had two Opels when I grew up as a kid. They brought them back to America, so we drove Opels. Believe it or not. We had a red one and a blue one.
All that's telling me is that that they were able to distinguish who the foreigners were when you came over with those things.
Well, we got a discount on them because my grandfather worked at Opel. He was one of the middle management guys. So I think that's why my parents bought Opels, because my mom, being his daughter, got a family sort of discount on the vehicles. So there you go. Owned by GM, says Sizzix. Owned by GM. I knew it is an American company. I knew that. I wonder how Opel's doing. I haven't really checked it out lately.
You assume that they're doing anything at all.
All right. What else we got?
News about the 2030 World Cup.
Oh, jolly jizz. Now, here's the thing, Brett. I was bitching about this for a while, right? 64 teams.
Yeah.
I was bitching about 40. This is 64.
Yeah.
You got something to play before you put up all the teams that were projected
by
AI?
Yeah. That's coming up next. I really want this clip because Nico apparently is, face palming for the first minute of it. And then he talks about it. The same arguments that all of us are going to be making too. But I'm going to go back a little bit because I don't want to miss it. This chap right here.
Okay.
He says something that I thought was funny, and I kind of stole it and made my own joke on a post too. So
okay,
here they are getting ready to talk about this.
I mean, is it even possible that this could happen, Nico?
Expansion of maybe Italy could finally qualify though.
Hey, maybe.
Ouch!
Hey, maybe Italy can finally qualify though.
They will. I think they will. You know what? They should have made it 69 teams and just said giggity.
Yeah.
The giggity World Cup. Here, I was wrong about it though. When AI projected who the 64 teams were, I could only find 4 teams or 3 that were going to absolutely get crushed by everybody. I thought there would be more.
That's just kind of what I was alluding to in my joke of a post of it. Because I mentioned how obviously we can crack the same jokes that everybody makes, I can't wait for the Cayman Islands to face Nepal. So it's gonna be great. But what if most of the additional teams, just go to Europe? A couple go to Asia, a couple go to South America.
Well, that's what the AI projected, right?
So I mean, in less of these tiny island nations, maybe Oceanic gets 1.5 teams instead of 1.
They get 2 total. So that's New Zealand, and what other fuckface is going to get crushed?
Yeah.
And in this case, in this AI pick, it was the Solomon Islands because they currently are ranked second behind New Zealand in the rankings. So, did you have that AI thing?
I got pulled up here.
Yeah, let's pop that out.
Pop it out, man.
Pop it up. That's what she said. All right. Here are the teams that are going to get probably crushed in this. Bangladesh is going to get their asses handed to them by any top 12 team.
Yeah.
So will India. So will India.
I've really been paying attention to Asia closely. How's China doing nowadays?
I mean, good enough to get in with this many teams getting information. We're talking, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams getting in from Asia? Are there any ones missing? Yeah, no, I'm seeing no. Japan's there.
I don't see North Korea anywhere.
I would probably project they'd make it over the Bangladeshis and
the fucking women are lighting it up. Apparently, jeez.
Mm-hmm. Well, if they were as good as the women, they would be or have a chance. They certainly have a chance now. But I do think Bangladesh is a stretch too far. Then even India is going to have a hard time. And so we'll see what happens there. As you scroll down, I mean, all of the CONCACAF teams they'll be competitive. They're not going to get crushed. They might lose 3-0, but they're not going to lose 7.
I think El Salvador will be.
They might lose 4-0.
I think they're going to be bunkered the entire group stage.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to lose 6-0 though, or 7-0. They could. They could.
Possible.
Certainly a threat there.
We just saw PSV lose 7-1.
Man, PSV is atrocious with all those injuries.
Missing all those Yanks, yeah.
Yeah, you're missing Tillman, Pepe, and Dest. It was bad. That was a bad game to watch. I actually turned it off. I'm like, I don't watch any more of this.
Yeah, well, TNT might get stomped as well.
I don't know about that. They held their own in that last World Cup in 2002. They did all right.
Yeah, the players in that World Cup have kids of their own on the team.
I know.
That's how long ago it's been.
I think that what's his face from ESPN FC was on that team.
Yeah.
And then the real team that shouldn't be here at all, and the one.
Oh, sorry.
No. A little further down, Solomon Islands on the left. They're going to get destroyed. Absolutely, brutally destroyed. Oceania should only get one team. I'm sorry. Until they're like, if New Zealand is the best team in your conference, your region, no, you just don't get any more than one. I'm sorry. But okay, if people want to see a 12-0 game versus Belgium and Solomon Islands, we'll have a good time. Shaka is Hislop. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
Other than that, nobody else is going to get destroyed. Not in the European group. They won't get destroyed. They might lose 3-1, 4-2, 4-1, but it ain't going to be 7-0. Every team the Solomon Island plays that has any gumption at all is going to absolutely run up the score on those guys.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So we'll see. Somebody said about Palestine, maybe they do make it in. I think there's a lot of different potential on the lower end there in Asia, teams that could make it, including, Saudi Arabia's already in there.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're Kuwait. There are other teams that could battle for those last 3 spots because it's just a free-for-all at that point. Really is.
Yeah.
So, Bangladesh is definitely, Vietnam has a shot.
It also makes sense to, have this many teams, quite frankly, because that's the World Cup that's going to be in, Spain, Portugal, and Morocco, not to mention Argentina and Uruguay.
Yeah.
I know that those are only for opening matches, too. But
I think Ryan Shipley makes a good point. Where's Iran?
Oh, yeah.
They've made World Cups before. Where are they? Are they on a downswing?
Made the last World Cup, Derek.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, again, you let AI pick. Who knows who programmed what into AI to come up with these
Bangladesh
answers?
and India make it over them.
Yeah, I that's why I say the last 3 or 4 spots, 3 mostly for Asia, I think are like way up in the air. Who knows? I think Iran's a good call out. Kuwait's a good call out. Yeah, so we'll see. Iraq, Indonesia, those are both really good shout outs. I don't think Bangladesh is in any way like a rock solid pick, nor is India. There you go.
You know what I'm looking at this though, going, let's see, hold on. We got for US, we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, our qualifying alone would be stupid.
Yeah.
If 9 CONCACAF teams made this.
Right. So basically, there'll probably be 9 3-team or 4-team groups for qualifying, and the top seed from each will qualify. And in each of those groups, there will be teams like St. Kitts.
But I would imagine CONCACAF would absolutely seed those groups.
That's what I'm saying. That's why all these 9 teams would be the top seeded teams in those groups of 4, and the top seed from each group would advance.
Could you imagine if they didn't seed them and all of a sudden you had a group that had like Mexico, Canada, the US in it?
They're not going to let that happen. No
chance.
Yeah. And I don't know if there's a preliminary tournament where you knock out some of the smaller teams so you don't have all these really tiny, or like Aruba and Antigua.
You still need to fill 18 slots in qualifiers at that point.
Yeah. Well, 3 times 9 is 27 teams. You still need to knock out a bunch of teams to get down to 27. If you include
there's gonna have to be some established knockout round for the smaller ones. There's gonna be this is all hypothetical, of course, but there would be a seed. The top 9 teams don't have to qualify this. Everybody else vies for the remaining 18 spots.
But with 9 spots, that really does give somebody a chance to fuck up and allow somebody like Haiti to get in, or Nicaragua, or Guatemala, or Cuba. Right? Like all these smaller, like just underneath the octagon, usually the octagonal, are going, oh, there's 9 spots now, boys. We could beat Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, home and away. So I guess that'll be interesting. So, but anyhow.
It depends on which Honduras team we get too. They could be out too.
I like the fact that almost every team in South America qualifies. Just like almost everyone, like 1 team doesn't qualify.
But how's that? I feel like doing this is really going to hurt the revenue. I guess with no qualifiers, you're just going to continue with Nations League.
No, they'll do qualifiers. There'll be qualifying for this.
I mean, I guess some of our nations will have to. But I mean, does all of South America make it?
Pretty much. I think only 1 wouldn't make it. So, yeah, that's going to be like, who's the biggest ass loser? Who finishes 1 and 12, or whatever.
I was going to say Bolivia, but looking at the ones missing.
Yeah, Bolivia. Let me see.
Wait a second. No. Don't 2, 4, 6, 7. There's only 7 teams from South America. Oh, 8. There's 8. There's Argentina.
I think there's only 9 countries in the in the federation. So only 1 poor sap will be left out.
Ryan says no Bolivia or Venezuela.
Oh, so 2. So it'll be 2 that will be left out. I wouldn't count out Venezuela. Somebody's going to be crying going home that expected to make this and ends up, and it might be Peru or Paraguay, and Venezuela will beat somebody out.
Yeah,
they got some good young players coming up. Venezuela, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I guess ultimately, what for me, what this does is it really just kills the drama behind qualifying.
Yeah, it seriously will,
and it really makes the qualifying games borderline useless because you notch a couple wins and you just coast the rest of the fucking time. Start playing your U20s.
Yeah, it's going to make it absolutely useless in certain federations. There's no doubt. This is just almost ridiculous.
Well, I imagine in all federations outside of Oceanic and Asia, where there's so many damn countries.
Yeah. I mean, it's too much. Surprisingly, I'm not saying it dilutes it as much as I thought it would, but there are going to be at least 3 or 4 teams that definitely should never see the field that are going to be on the pitch.
I mean, Europe has 24 spots.
Yeah,
23 spots. Sorry.
Still, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, even then, qualifying's like. I mean, I guess there's still going to be, there's still whatever they usually do. What groups of like 4 or 5, I think 5 or something like that, 6 maybe. So there's still a lot of teams that vie for that. So I guess some qualifiers won't be worthless.
Right. Yep. We got a super chat.
I will get to that super chat in just a second because I have that topic coming up anyways.
Okay.
Let's see what I got here. So Calvin says, in my opinion, soccer is nearing an end of its glory days. Greed is the main reason to expand to 64 teams. I agree. FIFA wants to profit from every aspect of the game. I agree.
Oh, I love the one post, by the way, that said FIFA's considering. Wait, no, FIFA's been pushing this. They're not considering. This is a rubber fucking stamp. They will stamp this as quick as they can find the rubber stamp in Infantino's right drawer on the top of his desk. Whoop, approved. Bam, done. This is exactly what they wanted. This isn't a proposal from outside of FIFA. Let's not pretend that. That's such a joke. This is exactly what FIFA wants. So for that post to go out saying, with the news saying, I think it was ESPN, FIFA are considering a proposal for a 64. They're not. They're considering a proposal they came up with.
Yeah.
It's rubber stamp, dude.
How would you say his name was Zizix? Says no Bosnia. Esmir really fucked up.
Could have been.
Yeah, and that 64 team, man, you could have, it's a guarantee for the US, man. Just stick with us, guys.
Yeah, but I mean, again, by the way, he's also injured. So if you count him as American still, that's every single dual nat American possibly available to PSV.
So yes, I would still classify him as American because he is American.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't care about his international career.
I don't either.
Because doesn't play for the US. So
right,
that's all
I'm done. I'm done watching. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
One less guy to cover for me. Thank God. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Well, speaking of World Cups, there's news on the women's front too.
Okay.
Yes. Lawrence says yesterday, U.S. Soccer announced that they are planning on submitting a bid to host the 2031 Women's World Cup. So,
with that in mind, I put together a list of the cities. Yeah, he sent this to us as well, privately. But
no, this is an actual post. This isn't from private. He sent it to us privately as well. But this is the post on Twitter.
Right. I know. I saw it publicly as well.
But yeah. So I mean, it's wasn't it just? I feel like it was just here recently.
I feel like it's here all the time.
It's like FIFA's looking at go like, God, we got to make as much money as possible in the women's game. Let's just host it in the U.S.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's happening.
I think they'll get it again. I just feel it's really weird that they do odd years. The 2031. I don't know. It just doesn't rub me the right way.
I mean, I guess they could have had it on the even number that the men aren't on.
That's correct.
Basically, you have a World Cup every 2 years.
So you have a women's World Cup and then a women's World Cup every 2 years. Yeah.
So the two people would be like, okay, well, maybe they do that. No, because it'd be back to back otherwise. So yeah, I don't know. So
yeah, it's just weird.
What it is. It's what it is.
It's just weird to me. I don't know. I don't like it. 2031. 2031 World Cup. Odd. Okay. Well, I never really noticed it before, so maybe it's not a big deal. But yeah, it's here all the time, so that wouldn't surprise me.
I haven't seen Brian DeMarco in the chat. kind of hoping he'd be here because I wanted to let him introduce our next segment.
Personally?
No. Well, sort of.
Okay.
Brandon Marcos says, "Do not panic.
Do not panic. Do not panic. Cap them now. Cap them now."
Yeah.
So who's the dual not panic?
They were talking about dual nats that have switched from US to other teams and stuff like that. Let me see if I can find the list of it. Oh, come on now.
I mean, are we going to even listen to this? Because
I got one timestamp on this, but yeah. So they're listing all the players. We talked about the dual nats and stuff like that, and they're talking about the dual nats that have opted not to play for the U.S.
All right, can I sum this up real quick?
Go for it.
Asmir didn't want to play for us. Upset about the Olympics, maybe. Okay, goodbye. Noel Buck will never play for England. He can still come back. He's young enough to switch back.
And Chuck has actually said that that Buck was actually thinking too high of himself and wanted to play for the big boy U.S. men's national team. When the call didn't come, he opted to go play for England.
I think he was upset about the Olympic call-ups.
Well, I mean, Chuck has his connections with New England Revolution. So that's the only reason why they're asking about him. But
he's not ready for the big boy team at all. But he was upset about the Olympic non-calls and the youth non-calls.
Honestly, both Asmir and Noel, I think, should have been with the Olympic squad. But
right, Noah Allen, no big loss. Cyan Suzuki, yeah, that's one we could have used for sure. His season so far in Serie A has been nothing but pretty damn good. Obed Vargas, oh well, sayonara. Julian Araujo, sayonara. Twinkie Boy, sayonara. Jonathan Gomez, that was so long ago. I don't even need to say goodbye because he's already on the horizon. And boy, what is he doing? What is he doing?
Didn't you say like he was playing in second division Mexico?
I'm not sure right now. I haven't checked recently. So, but yeah, his career is kind of winding down already, and he's not even that old. Ayo Akinola, what a great loss. Jonathan David, I would have really liked to have, but what do you do? What do you do at the time when you already think you got your guys, and he's kind of already made his decision, about who he's going to play for, and he made it pretty early. So,
yeah, no David Ochoa. Well,
I guess he's too far down the list to mention.
You got to be a professional player at that point to be mentioned.
Mm.
They talked about the big names when it comes to losses, like Subotic and Rossi.
Was Subotic in the end really that big of a loss? No.
I mean, he would have definitely probably shored up our center back
for 2 years, because that's about 2 to 3 years. That's about the length of his career. That was worth the shit. Honestly,
that's fair.
I don't know what happened to him, but he dropped off the map. And
he moved from Dortmund to somewhere else, didn't he?
I think he played in France for a while too.
Something like that. I think once he left Dortmund, I think it really went to shit.
I mean, he couldn't even make the national team he left us for.
Yeah.
But for a handful of times. And he rarely played. So I hope he enjoyed that decision, because he would have played a lot for us for at least a couple of years.
Yeah. As Chuck mentioned about Rossi was 100% Italian the entire time.
Yeah,
Italy,
I'm just shocked this is a topic on their show. They must be digging down the well, just like a lot of other shows are doing right now.
Well, they see us talking about dual net panic all the time, so they felt maybe they needed to jump in on that.
Maybe. I hope they talked about Nathaniel Brown.
Yeah. That was before when they were talking about some of the duels. Like Noah Banks, they're talking about Damian Downs. Actually, I don't know if they talked about Brown. Maybe they did on passing, but I don't know if it was an actual topic.
Yeah. By the way, we got Judgmental Deity saying Subotic not a big loss. Years are years better than MLS lifer. Okay, but again, had he had a great career, Subotic, I would have worried a lot more and much longer. But it turned out the pain was only for a couple years.
And
maybe a handful, 3 years.
who was our center backs at that point? It was Gooch, Boca, Demerit.
Yeah, we had some all right guys. So his
Keyshawn
rise,
his
rise at Dortmund was fast. His fall almost as fast. So
Keyshawn wants to know what happened to Pukstas. He's
playing. He's playing
now. His club finally realized, if we're going to get anything from this kid on the transfer market, we better play his ass.
But during the window, they were absolutely pissed at Roxas Puskas because he refused a move to MLS.
Yeah.
And he said, no, not doing it. So was Subotic eligible for the U.S. as Calvin Jones? Yes.
Yes.
He had played for the U.S. youth teams. Yes.
He was part of the U20s. Yeah.
Yep. So, Jonathan David is elite. I just watched him play. Was it yesterday? Yeah, he's a good player. A couple days ago.
Yeah. So Jimmy has a point that he wants to bring up that I think kind of hits home with when we talk about dual nats all the time. So let's listen to what Jimmy has to say about
Jimmy. Looks like he's about to have a fight with a teddy bear. Greek there.
He's like fighting like a kitty cat.
He's making the sound too in the mic. Oh, Jimmy.
Must be something scary on the side of the camera too. His eyes are wide open.
Well, yeah. He's very demonstrative.
All right, here we go.
Grass isn't necessarily greener. You still have to go out there and perform. And this kind of gets me to the point of, I remember when Jurgen Klinsmann started to broaden the player pool, right? And he brought in Fabian Johnson and he brought in Jermaine Jones. And we were kind of looking outside areas to go find dual nationals. And I remember there were some players, I'll leave nameless, that were frustrated, American players who were frustrated that the player pool was being broadened.
Donovan.
We
know. You don't have to leave them unnamed. We know who they were.
He does mention it by name later, but yeah.
Donovan,
and I said,
and of course, he did not like Timmy Chandler, and he did not like Fabian Johnson. But anyhow, go ahead.
Just play better. Like if you want to get on the national team, the better the competition is, the better you're going to be, the better our team will be because of it. So just play better. And
yeah. So all those people pissed off about bringing better competition into the fold, start playing better.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
And I remember, I can't remember which player that said it. It said, Timmy Chandler, when we were up like 2-0 in a game and we'd already qualified for the octagon or whatever, the octagonal.
Octagonal was it was a hex at the time.
Yeah, the hexagon. Timmy Chandler's wondering why we're playing so hard. And I think one of the players turned around and said to him, because we're playing for our fucking jobs, dude. Nobody's fucking guaranteed on this team. God, I wish I remember who said that. But anyhow, there were players that did not like Timmy Chandler. And he's a bit of a jokester, right? You know, he likes to have a good time on the pitch and at practice. So I guess they just didn't like that about him.
Yep.
And his English was pretty shit.
Shoddy.
Yeah.
And that's I'm kind of going off on a rant here now, Chuck, but
no,
sometimes people but when we get criticized, oh dude, you're talking your shit on your podcast and blah blah blah. I'm like, then play better.
No.
Just play better. If you don't want us to talk about you, then do what we know you're capable of. That's it.
Ooh,
yeah, you can have drop-offs for sure. We'll take all that into consideration.
So it sounds like some players have reached out to them at some point and said, guys, I thought we were friends. Why are you talking shit about me?
Like
that's what it sounds like.
Landon Donovan?
Well, I'm thinking more along the lines of current players.
Have current players criticized bringing in foreign players?
No. So let me back up a bit.
I'm kind of going off on a rant here now, Chuck, but
no,
sometimes people but when we get criticized, oh dude, you're talking your shit on your podcast and blah blah blah. I'm like, then play better. Just play better. If you don't want us to talk about you, then do what we know you're capable of. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That makes it sound like there's some current players out there that are like, Jimmy, I thought we were good buddies. Why you bashing me on your show like this? That's what it sounds like to me, at least.
This is why we don't have current players on our show or players. And I think it it's kind of funny because this conversation I would tackle a long time ago about why we don't bring X and players on our show or current ones was, dude, it just creates havoc.
Yeah.
Like they think you're friends with them and you're not allowed to criticize them anymore. This happened to us back in the day, and they won't come on your show if you've ever been critical of them before. Like they get really huffy about that. So that's why we don't have players on the show. Plus nobody watches and nobody cares.
Yeah. Well, this is why this is one reason why I don't think we'll ever be hired by U.S. Soccer to do anything, or any club for that matter. If we get a local MLS side or anything like that, or even Indy 11, quite frankly, to do a podcast on them, because we'll sit there and we'll bash what we see as something we can be critical on.
Although
we prop up the good stuff too, but
Peter Will came on our show.
Yeah.
Of course, we were in the inside then, so people were criticizing us. So that was different because we were a part of the leadership of Indy 11. So, you know, we were a team. And I guess that having Peter Wilt on was sort of an inside job, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was. All right.
You can have drop-offs for sure. We'll take all that into consideration. But there are times where we know that you're capable of playing better, then play better. You want to be in the national team, play better. That's something you have control over as a player, your attitude and your performance. Then just be awesome at those two things, and then we'll get off your back.
Can you imagine if we had Cade,
Cal, Brendan Aronson?
No, the other Caden Clark on the show, like tacked it. I'm sure that was rough. That's that relationship, you know, that they had. And we could have had him on too. But as much as we've criticized him along the way, and now he's doing so much better, and I'm happy for him. But I'm never going to lie about a player. It's not going to, and I can't. And that's why we don't have players on our show. There you go. We don't even ask.
The rate we're going, we're probably not going to have any former players on the show either.
Oh, come on. Yeah, they'll be on.
Remember when Sergeant will be like, remember when you told me I needed to grow a set? You needed to grow a pair.
Well, we're not going to have any current players on, but we'll have foreign players or former players on.
Sure. That's why I said, he's like, do you remember when? Speaking as some time in the future when he's.
Yeah. No, I think they forget. They forget by then. Just look at Ronaldo. He totally forgot.
Sure, but that was also as an adult, though.
True.
Yeah.
And it's been 11 years.
Yeah,
maybe longer. Since his infamous email to me. All right,
Jimmy's got one bit of advice for anybody pissed about all the dual nats, and you know, if you're getting criticized, hey, stop sucking balls and get out there and play.
Yeah, do better, I think is what he's saying. And then we won't be able to criticize you, which is a ridiculous thing. Even if you do better, you're going to have the occasional shit game. And people are going to have to say you had a shit game. He had 10 great games, but this last one was kind of shit. And you can't take it personally because you in the inside should know you also had a shit game. You got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and go, yeah, people are probably going to say I had a shit game. Because I did. I had a shit game.
Yeah.
All right, cap him now. AC Milan signed 16-year-old talent Aston Mbe for the academy from MLS side New York Red Bulls. Agreement in place for Mbe to join Milan. All right, let's just, again, we got it. It's great for the kid because he's getting over there before. He's 18 years old. He's going to get to, grow up in the academy system for 2 years before he's 18. This is really important to get there before you're 18. Sargent couldn't do it. He had to show up at Bremen at 18. That sucked. If he had gotten there 2 years earlier, maybe he'd be 2 years ahead now from where he is now. So I think it's a good move. If you can go do it.
Yep. No, I agree.
Doesn't mean he'll amount to a fucking hill of beans and that he won't be back in MLS 4 years from now. All right.
Yeah.
Honestly, he could be right back here.
I was gonna make the comment that it's nice, and it's nice seeing these the younger kids going abroad, but also going abroad to larger sites like this, really getting thrown in there. We've talked about this before. We've had kids that came up through the academies of a lot of these bigger clubs, a lot of these clubs around Europe.
Bayern.
I mean, you covered hundreds of kids on a list. of just like who tracking them where they're at and where they're progressing. And then 5 years later, it's like, where are they at now? Well, most of them are retired.
Yeah.
Other ones may be playing in USL at that point. So Kenny Cooper is a great example, Daniel, of somebody who started abroad and then came to MLS and had a pretty decent career at MLS.
But the drums were not as loud then because there wasn't social media. But the drums were beating.
Big Soccer was about it. Yeah.
Yep. On Big Soccer.
Yeah. So it's nice seeing them there.
Zach Whitbread, another one. It's another good one.
Let's not go crazy. Let's just let the kid go there, start his development,
and just cross your fingers and hope the best.
Hey, when he gets loaned out or he starts playing somewhere on a big boy team, then we'll start talking about it.
Yep.
But we can't talk about all the kids that are playing in the two teams. That'd be like a 3-hour show in its own right.
It would be. Yep. Cap the lube. Exactly, Ryan. Cap the lube. Cap the lube. Cap the lube. Yes, Julian Vivas for $4.99. Thank you, brother. We do appreciate it. Markaj News said on X, the Markaj News guy, that Nene Brown, Nene, that thing is just crazy, is being pursued by Poach. Is it true or no? Yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock in that.
I think this page, and Edgar says that it's he's also part of a different
Tejano Deportes. Yeah.
What I see in this, quite frankly, is this person just throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about the same shit that we talk about on transfer news, because again, with our transfer news, most of it is sort of it's sort of a joke, quite frankly.
I mean, if it's Tejano Deportes guy, same guy, this might as well be actual fucking shit out of your asshole against the wall. Because that's usually what he provides. And if he's now pursuing him, he waited way too long because that should have already happened. Of course, the 21-year-old is maybe leaning towards us. He exited and deleted all of his followings for German national team stuff. If he has been pursued, why isn't he on the preliminary roster? I don't know. Maybe there's paperwork that needs to get done. That
I was going to say maybe there is paperwork and it just hasn't been finalized at that point. So no need to start advertising it just to find out if it fails to go through for whatever reason. I don't know.
Here's the thing: when a guy does exclusive and puts 2 nipples next to it with stars on them, I'm saying they're nipples. I'm sure they're supposed to be like sirens, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when anybody uses the exclusive double nipple sign, beware. Just beware immediately. Beware. Because when I posted the news about our friendly against Turkey, which has that even been announced yet?
Has not been announced yet.
That's crazy. It's been a month. I've already announced it. It's happening. It's happening. Mexico already announced that they're on the other half of it. Of course we're playing Turkey. Why don't we just fucking announce it? I just don't understand it. I broke that news a month ago. Did I put 2 nipples up with exclusive on it? It wasn't exclusive. It was a source that I absolutely trust. And I mean, I think it got like 30,000 views. That's 30,000 people who know about it. But outside, I haven't checked lately. It might be more than that. But, come on. No need to do that. Just post your news and the story will handle itself. But all that shiny shit, like that guy, let me know when let me know when he gets something right. 18 and listen.
Well, no, here's the problem with the stuff that he does. He doesn't give you definites. He's not saying, hey, Manny Brown's going to be picking the United States. He says Pochettino is targeting him. He's monitoring him.
He's leaning. Nathan Brown is leaning. He's leaning.
Whichever way if he falls, he's not wrong. I mean,
I guess he decided to lean the other way because he was only leaning. I never said he was definitely wanted to. I was just saying he was leaning.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. What kind of fucking journalism is that? 18-year-old Julian Eyestone. What a name, Eyestone. in Brentford first team training this morning. He is tallest player in picture, celebrating Dane Fleckens Player of the Month award. Icestone made Brentford's bench last match against Tottenham. 6'6" goalkeeper, highly rated by the club. I will take any goalkeeper we got at this point, and I will break out all kinds of different, religious symbols or whatever, and begin praying that we have a future there.
Well, the good news is we do have a number of young goalkeepers in Europe right now, and we have a couple of them in MLS too. So maybe, just maybe, by 2030, we'll have a couple standouts.
Well, we're really hoping on Diego coaching. I mean, a lot of people are putting a lot of hope in that. And I think
there's a kid at Roma.
Again, there is a kid at Roma.
Yeah.
And again, it's a hope and pray thing, right?
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Johnny, ban all dirty half Germans starting with Derek. What the fuck, dude? I thought you loved to have Germans.
No, he likes the German players.
Well, no, he's always been supportive of Brooks and everybody else, Chandler and
but he says that the way he refers to them is that while they are German Americans, they are the Germans because they were born and raised in Germany, played all the way through, and the USSF hates Germans.
So I only lived 7 years of my life in Germany, from ages 1 to 5 and ages 11 or 10 to 12. That doesn't count for anything.
Well, I mean, it was a nice vacation.
Okay. My mother's German. I don't know. What do I got to do? Brian Schroeder. Now, Wolfsburg announced that recent U.S. Olympic team winger Kevin Paredes has been partially reintegrated back into the first team training. Well, slow clap. I am happy for him, though.
It's taken what? Let's see, 7 to
8 months.
8 months. 8 months to get any news. Come on.
Wow.
8 months to get a lick of news out there. Just say, hey, he's got turf toe, or hey, he broke
all
his pinky
this
toe.
For a rash on your left testicle. Seriously.
Exactly. So
all right. Well, good to know.
I love how partially is in quotes too. What does that mean? He just walked out to the pitch and said hi to everybody. Hey guys,
he did.
I still play here.
And then the goalkeeper coach kicked him a couple balls and he kicked it back. Yeah. There you go. He's partially reintegrated. I don't even think you need to use the word reintegrated. I think it's just integrated. Has been partially integrated back. You don't need to use reintegrated, right?
Alvin, we have no idea why. I mean, he picked up like a groin injury or something like that on the last game of the Olympics that we were in against Morocco, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it was a groin injury or whatever, but he went back to Wolfsburg, and then we didn't hear anything since then. Like, no update, no news. It's like, what the hell?
And it's like lower body injury. Okay. Everything from his nuts all the way down to his toes. No news.
So, yeah. All right, we'll move on to more news here about Brian. It's been a Brian day.
Our good friend Brian, who's been on the show 3 times? Twice?
2 or 3 times, yeah.
Right.
I think one show we broke up into 2 videos.
Okay, that makes
one
more
live
sense.
stream, maybe?
He's definitely been on one live stream, I think.
Yeah.
Or was that before we started going live?
Well, one show was, and we did. We split into 2 segments. And I think he joined us live one day.
Anyhow, he's one of the good ones. He never uses the double nipple exclusive. Ever. It's
everybody assumes when he posts it's breaking.
Right. And he's not full of shit.
Yeah.
And he's not groveling for your clicks. It's good that Balogun is healthy, but he was hardly missed by Monaco. That is so true. His replacement, Mike Beereth, has been fucking crazily good. Was acquired in January and has 10 goals in 7 league games. Oh my God. League games. I am not even sure if Monaco has figured out the plan yet for Balogun plus Beereth plus Embolo. I totally get what you're saying.
Here's what I think about this. This is kind of a decent thing for us US fans. because now he's going to be integrated back into the team, at least the 18, slowly.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
Maybe he'll get 5 minutes here, 7 minutes there, depending on what the game is providing. And then he just has to make most of the chances he gets, which might be practically nothing. But
I mean, you could figure out a way to get them all on by playing Balogun out wide left.
We talked about that under Berhalter.
Yeah, it's possible. So we'll see what they do. I'm not ready to panic about it yet or anything, but Beard has certainly made this much more difficult.
Says Monaco uses 2 9s.
Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see. Mm-hmm. And there's always a chance that Berhalter and Bolo go injured. But you could also play Balogun as a left mid/left winger and see how that works. We'll see what they do. By the way, for the 201 of you here now, make on both X and YouTube, thank you for helping us break 200 tonight. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandma, and give your stepsister a light tap on the shoulder, and then ask her, does she prefer this? Right?
No,
or,
okay.
Or is it more of a Vaseline thing? All right. That's what we got.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Obviously, over the past couple weeks, we've seen.
By the way, just to be clear, it's still not opened.
I think you just put a rock in there.
No, I didn't.
Open up. Let's see it.
You want me to open it up? No, I'm not going to. I got to keep it in case they decide to sponsor again.
No.
Yeah.
Again, a rock inside would work just as well.
Yeah, but then I have to tape it up, and that would look bad on the show.
You just cover it. Or whatever.
We shouldn't have criticized them. They're never going to sponsor the show again. It's one of our most loyal sponsors.
I'll send out an email. I'll see what I can get.
All right. For 3 months, they sponsored the show.
All right. We're moving on. I was talking about how past couple weeks, despite the meh performance, good news was that Gio's gotten a couple of starts.
Yeah.
It's really, at this point, let's bring up the post and then we'll talk about it real quick. Because we kind of talked about it last show, I believe. But
okay. I don't know what happened to Gio over the last stretch, but he looks pretty terrible with his appearances. Not only does he look slow, I'm getting a little bored of that, even though I love you. But he may look slow, but I don't ever think that's the actual case. But he looks like a phone on 1% battery. He doesn't look very inspired. It's not the Gio we're used to, demanding the ball. Yeah. The sort of form really doesn't constitute anything more than a bench role, if we're being real. I don't think he'll start either.
See if mine's the first one. Nice. So I mentioned this on Monday, but I wonder if he's just coasting for to remain healthy for the summer transfer. He's not. Here's the thing: he's not playing poorly. We just have expectations of him being an offensive presence. He's doing fine defensively as a CM. He's making connecting passes. I'll be the little the lateral rather than progressively.
Yep.
And he's just not creating chances. What we come to expect.
One chance. Yeah.
It looks like he's playing that connecting role, and he's just trying to stay limber enough to where he doesn't get injured.
He's playing a connecting role in the middle of the field where they don't play the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
They just go down the wings. So he's just filling space basically, and
you can see when he makes his connecting passes, he immediately moves into a spot that you would imagine maybe like a 1-2 pass would come, but the pass don't come.
They never come. So I can count a number of times that he was just wide fucking open on the top of the box. Nobody looked.
I'm not making excuses for him. I'm not saying he's played great. Quite frankly, I think I specified them as meh performances because that's exactly what they were. Nothing great, but then again, nothing bad.
Run of the mill.
The only thing bad is that he didn't do what we normally go to expect him to do.
Correct.
But it's not like he's not getting dispossessed. He's not losing the ball. He got praised by the coach for his defensive ability.
Yeah, no, he did very well good in those defensively. And I think people are like, oh, he didn't sprint back. No, but he covered all and every of the spaces he was asked to cover in those 2 games.
So,
and no one scored on him when he was on the pitch. So there's that too. And then they took him off and they got scored on. So coincidence? I don't know. But I don't think it's because of his bad defensive duties. He's not being called out for that. He's being praised by his coach. So,
yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know how you want to really take this. Again, just because he's not really producing in the attack doesn't mean he's performing poorly.
Can I put it like all of us feel right now?
Sure.
All of us really want to see Gio Reyna have a game where fireworks shoot out of his asshole. And none of us are getting that. And that's what's disappointing, because we all wake up in the morning, we see Dortmund, we go through the roles, not all of us, and we go, oh my God, he's starting. I'm watching that game. And you watch it, you turn it on, you're like, meh.
I'm gonna flat out make the prediction when he plays for Poach. If Poach gets his team to play the same way we played against Jamaica, Gio's gonna look great. Because that's that style, that quick 1-2 ticky-tacky type of play benefits his style. That's where he thrives.
He'll look great for the last 20 minutes of the game.
When he gets to play?
That's when he's going to get to play. Yep.
Yeah. Unless he goes in there and just balls out during practice. Who knows? But I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Gio was nothing without Holland. That's not fair altogether, Daniel. I mean, it's not 100% true. He was definitely better with Holland. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, Dortmund's practically been nothing without Holland. So.
Correct. And let's not forget who kept coming off the bench for the last 10, 15, 20 minutes a game and kept Dortmund in the run because he kept scoring goal after goal after goal after goal.
After his first massive injury, yes.
Correct.
That one half of the season where it was after World Cup.
Yeah.
And he bagged something like 7 goals in that half of the season.
And he played barely any minutes, but every time he came in, he scored a goal. So,
So,
right.
Yep, they could have won it.
Yeah, that was they gave that one away. That was like, here, Bayern, have the trophy.
Gio came in as a super sub. I think he had two assists that match. Almost had a third, I believe. And that would have won it if he would have. They would have won They would have won if they would have capitalized on that one that was missed. If I recall correctly.
Right. So we'll see what happens. I mean, regardless, he's good for the U.S. men's national team every time he plays.
Yeah.
I don't take that for what you will, but yeah, I'm still waiting for the fireworks shooting out of his ass game, just like all of you are. We're all waiting for it, and it's just so far no fireworks.
From one end of the spectrum to the next end. Sarge has been nominated for February's Championship Player of the Month.
Yet his coach is still pretty hard on him. So there's that.
Well, last match wasn't great.
No. But, I mean, listen, I think we've talked about this too. There are like big sections of games, even when he scores, where he disappears. What his coach is saying, hey, dude, we need you to come back and get the ball sometimes when we're having a rough time getting it out of the mid. Come back and receive it, play with your back to goal. We don't expect you to like dribble past 5 guys, but we do need you to use your body to do that more and help us out. And we're going to keep pushing you. I like hearing that from a coach. He's done great. He's our biggest goal scorer, but he can still do more, and we're going to push him to do more because we know he can do more.
Yeah, the coach isn't over there jerking him off or anything like that. He's telling him to get better. He's telling, hey, we need you to do this to make us better, make yourself better. And that's what you want in a coach.
And Pete makes a good point that if he were playing in MLS, he'd just be getting loop jobs all day from the coaching staff. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
He would be. But here at his coach at Norwich City says, no, I think that what Josh has been doing, scoring roles, is great, but he's 8 out of 10 right now, and we need him to play at a 9 or a 10.
Yeah.
So
Thompson Sargent got no service against Blackburn. That's very true.
That's true. But what the coach was saying in that game specifically actually was, we need Josh when can't get him the ball because we can't get out of midfield to come back to the midfield to receive.
And I'll say in that specific match, Sainz and Nunes just flat out sucked it when it came to
he did
trying to
suck
progress it. They just won too many touches, consistently lost possession of the ball.
Sainz can get in that frame of mind, especially.
It's such a shame. But
so what the coach is saying is, since these guys aren't going to hit you, through the line, come back and become part of the midfield, and let's help progress the ball forward. Give them an obvious, with your back to the defense, pass that we can start the attack on when we're having trouble getting it out of the midfield. That's what the coach said.
What's funny is it was the because so Sainz and Nunes would just hold on to the ball way too long. It was funny because the center backs were the only ones that were like lacing the balls towards Sargent to get him open into a position like a run.
Yeah,
and she's like, guys, if you're not going to set him up, we'll fucking set him up.
Right. And is Norwich going to be promoted? I seriously doubt it. They're too far behind.
I don't know if they're too far behind.
I think they are. I think in the scheme of things, even if they make the playoff, promotion playoffs,
they're 4 points from a playoff spot.
Yeah, it's so late in the season, Brett. Even if they
7 more games.
Okay, if they manage to somehow squeeze into the top 4, I don't think that what I've seen so far in this season says to me this is a promotable team. It just doesn't. There are too many fuck-ups on that team.
I think depending on which Norwich you get.
Well, if they get all the guys back that are injured, then I'll start talking. But right now, too many injuries on that team.
Yeah. I mean, they're giving up stupid goals throughout like the last 5 games. They had 3 draws and 1 loss, 1 win. So I mean, they're giving up stupid goals.
And Sargent probably won't be around next season anyhow, so it doesn't matter. He's probably going either to Germany or one of the bottom half Premier League teams.
I'm hoping he goes to Germany. I really do.
That's where I'd like him to go, but he speaks German. He knows the league. Be great to go back. Let's say Werder Bremen somehow by a miracle are in the first division next year. Why not?
Dude, I don't see Bremen going back after him, and they're pretty pissed at the way he left.
Nah, it's a whole new crew now.
That's fair enough too.
A lot of guys got fired. So, all right, what else we got? Sargent to AC Milan. They need a better striker. Sure, it ain't gonna happen though.
No.
Yeah, I don't see that. Yeah, no, Bremen are mid-table, so they probably should stay up. I mean, could you see him going back to his old club? And it'd be crazy town. Is what that'd be. If it happens.
I don't know how different Bremen are now than they were when he was there last. I haven't watched a single game of theirs since he left. So
the only games I've watched is when they've played Dortmund or one of the teams that we watch because Americans around there, Augsburg.
You can't take the Dortmund games into contention there because Dortmund's usually just so bad.
Oh no, I know.
It's better.
It's painful, but whenever Reina plays 10 minutes, I try to watch at least 45 minutes of it, like the half, just to get context as to why he came in, right? Mm-hmm. Why did they bring him in? Yep. All right, for the 205 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share. Which Grandma, again, I think rather than suggest KY, just ask your stepsister what she would like, what her preference is. All right, before hoisting your preference in front of her. All right, what else we got?
So I'm just looking at this. So I'm going to pull up formation.
Man U is toxic. That's true, Fumar. Man U is a shithole. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that. I mean, I don't think it's going to get much better next season because I don't think they're going to fire the manager. Because what? You're going to blame the manager for? I mean, obviously he's done worse since he got there than the guy before him. But it's a shithole team with a bunch of not necessarily shithole players because we've seen some of the players they got rid of go over to other leagues and do quite well in Spain, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So is it the environment? Is it a locker room thing? What needs to change? Well, you might want to think about getting, I don't know how you get an Alex Ferguson guy in there, but it seems like they need a big swift kick in the ass is what they need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think Leeds is going to make an inquiry again? I know they did at one point.
They did make an inquiry or inquiry, depending where you're from. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see if Leeds don't fucking blow it somehow here at the end of the season. Because I just get this sinking feeling in my gut on two things with Leeds. Number one, they could self-implode at some point and start dropping like a rock. Or number two, I'm going to have to stop watching Leeds on the regular, at least the whole full games, because Aaronson's looking pretty useless for the last handful of games. And they've looked better without Aaronson lately. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. I'm just
the best soccer show is simultaneously looking at a spreadsheet. So the best soccer show's on right now. Jason Davis and all those guys. Yeah, we're doing this. And who put this out? I want to give him a shout out, but I forgot his name. Justin Moran. Great job, Justin. You saved a lot of us a lot of work. All right. So are we breaking it down to the last 23?
Yeah. So we can go by go by positions. I've got the formation builder pulled up as well, and I'm just going to go ahead and make our list, and we can compare it to our last one we did.
I don't think it's going to change a whole lot, but we'll see.
There are some subs in there that I would second guess now.
Well, probably too many left backs and right backs.
That's basically it right there, actually.
Yeah. I think if we're really going to play three in the back, which is what I think we're going to do, we don't need as many left wing backs and right backs because with Musa covering the right wing back spot, you really don't need that many more spots there, right?
Yeah.
Now, I will have to say, we love Pete, but I think he forgot that if you're not on the preliminary roster, you can't make the team. And Des did not make the preliminary roster.
Yeah.
So
we'll go over that too.
We're not. Des will not be on our team because he's can't make it. So.
Yep. Okay. So on.
So if you watch, the only reason I point that out is if you watch Pete's show already, it's not like we're calling him out. We're just basically saying if you already believe that, the reason that Des can't be on our roster is that Des did not make the preliminary roster, and you need to make the preliminary roster to actually make the roster. You cannot. When they ask you for the 60, that's all you get to pick from for the 23. That's how it works. So no Nathaniel Brown, if magically in a week from now, he's allowed to play for us. And Poach has successfully recruited him. Whatever. All right, that's not going to happen. So I think you're looking at, as Colin says, 5 CBs, maybe 6, and 3 fullbacks. And that's it. And really, honestly, to be really honest, Scally should be counted as one of the CBs.
Yeah.
He ain't playing right wing back.
So technically what we're saying is there's going to be 6 center backs in the end, counting Scally.
Correct.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just literally getting the starting lineup set up here.
Oh, okay. All right. My point was Poach doesn't have that. Okay. Better to have and not need than need and not have. This is Fumar.
Yep.
Shaking my head. Our right back suck without him. Well, we're not going to be playing a right back. That's the good news. Without Des, there's no real particular point of doing that in a classic 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 because that's not where we're going to play based on what we've seen from Poach thus far with both the January and the big boy team. He didn't play that. Mm-hmm. So I would expect a back 3 3 center backs. And yes, one of those center backs is going to be Joe Scally, maybe. We don't know because now we've got Ream, McKenzie, and Chris Richards is back and healthy. So why play Scally at right center back when you got Chris Richards, who does that for a Premier League team? What's the point? What does Scally give you that Richards can't? I don't know. That's a good question. Does Scally provide something that Richards can't? Is he a better passer? No. Is he quicker? Maybe a little. Is he faster? Maybe a little. Is he better on set pieces, defending? I think that's Richards. He's probably better. He's taller. Get to the headers better. Anyhow, let me know when you're ready to go.
Yep. I got yeah, we can start. We can just go. Let's go over the starting 11 first off, and we'll talk about the subs after that. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it that way. We usually do it that way. Goalkeepers, really, I mean, this is crazy news, but I actually think Turner and Horvath are going to both make it. I think Horvath started 2 games in a row, and he looked spectacular in one of them. And I think that's enough to get him over the line. And then whoever the third one is, doesn't matter to me. I'd like it to be coaching because Schulte's not having a great start to the season, nor is Horvath, nor is Stefan. Calendar is been benched. He didn't even play for Miami. He's benched. Haven't watched any games with Freeze, but he's never really made the team anyhow. So yeah. I'm going Turner, Horvath, coaching. That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
I mean, you can change it if you want to, but that's who I'm going with.
Well, I mean, you have to imagine that the third spot goalkeeper, quite frankly,
not going to play.
Well, definitely won't play. We're talking about 2 games here. I mean, unless Turner gets injured, I think Turner's playing both games full night.
He's starting both.
Yeah. The big question at that point is, does Horvath really supplant Schulte?
Yes.
I don't know.
For me, yeah. I don't know about, like, we get into the question, and like, I'm not going to argue about this all night because this is the least important position because it's all mediocre or young, right? So
yeah. And the other thing to also consider here in that sense is, does Poach is Poach really looking past 2026? Does he really care about including Cochin, who stands 0?
Yes, he seems to have so far.
I agree. He's been calling him in, but we've also had a goalkeeper deficiency. Now we do have some goalkeepers that are stepping up again,
like Horvath and Turner. I don't know if anybody else is in MLS yet. Stefan's been played like shit so far. Freeze, I don't know about. Schulte, that's been iffy. Calendar's been benched.
Yeah, I'm not even worrying about Calendar. Fuck that.
So
unfortunately for Freeze, again, he just hasn't been given an opportunity to play. He wasn't even didn't get to play during Camp Cupcake. So at that point, you have to imagine he's behind Stefan and Schulte at this point.
Yes. So, and I do believe you're taking 2 guys you think you can play and 1 guy who's not going to play at all. And I believe that's Turner, Horvath, and Cochin. I might be wrong, but I don't think so.
Well, I mean, it's a flip of a coin at this point.
It is, and it's also unimportant.
Poach does have more experience with Schulte at this point. So does that sway his decision over Horvath if Cochin is in fact coming? I don't know. It could be any of those 4, quite frankly.
Did Horvath's last 2 games sway him at all?
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know if you saw the game.
No, I did not.
Versus Aston Villa, but Horvath was a beast.
That's true. I do remember seeing that. I'm not seeing it, but seeing everybody talking about it. So
yep. I mean, so that's why I'm giving him the nod right now because Schulte started off the season so far in MLS pretty shaky. Made some mistakes.
Yeah, could go either way. So okay,
just throw in whatever you want. I don't care.
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's like we said, it's a position that. Okay, especially at third spot, who cares? I mean, it could be anything at that point. Again, it's one of those 4.
You want to get really personal about it. Poach has showered more love on Stefan than anybody so far in this whole group. Well, I remember when he was in Man City. Oh,
Stefan had a great game in Camp Cupcake.
And then Stefan played really good in Camp Cupcake. Yeah. I really like this Stephen guy. I remember when he was in Man City. Yeah, again, that's what you want to go with. Go for it. I don't care. At this point, this is the position I give the least shit about.
Yeah, because once you get past Turner, who cares?
So you want to put him in to the 11 here?
I just went with Coach and Horvath.
All right, but you got us stuck on the Excel file.
Yeah, I've got the so we can see it. I'm not going to sit there and shuffle back and forth.
All right. The center back thing is not that complex. It's definitely Richardson and McKenzie. That is a for sure. And I think Ream's a for sure. Those guys, I think, are making the team. There is no question. Then the question becomes Trusty or CCV or both. And Noah Kai Banks being the outlier. Because God help me if Miles Robinson makes this team at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, again,
one of these center backs is along for the ride.
It's quite frankly, it's two of the center backs going to be along for the ride. It's going to be CCV, Trusty, or No Kai, in my opinion.
One of them might as well be Banks.
I would like to.
Don't you always bring one young guy along who's going to be the future, so he can be part and integrate into the club, into the team?
But I guess that's one of the questions I was asking about coaching earlier. I mean, how far is Poach really looking into this? Is he looking past 2026? I know he talked about how if 2026 works out well, maybe the next cycle too, type of thing. But if he's not really looking past that, does he really care about prospects? Unless they're performing prospects.
He put him in the 60.
I know.
So he must care a little.
Or somebody does.
So what's your 5 then?
Oh no, I have Ream, McKenzie, Richards, Banks, and the coin for me. I actually want to go with Trusty because CCV has not been great for us.
Me too, and CCV's got that big toe thing that could pop up at any minute.
But I also, I don't know.
I think Trusty's been better. I think Trusty's been better than CCV for the Celtic.
Yeah.
In the 5 games I watched so far this season.
I wouldn't be surprised if another MLS center back is included, though.
God help me, Brett.
I'm just saying.
Please, no. You might be right, but I haven't heard any jizz flying for any of those guys. Zimmerman and Robinson being the main 2. And I have not heard any Zimmerman jizz flung by Poach nor Robinson jizz. So I can't see it right now. If he had talked either of those 2 guys up big time, maybe. But both of them, well, Zimmerman's certainly creeping up in age. Ream's a team leader. Zimmerman used to be a team leader. I don't know how respected he is now. But, I mean, was he really? He was one of the guys that got all on top of fucking Reyna, right? The MLS guys that got all on Reyna's balls during.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Zimmerman.
Ream? Oh, they said Ream. I was like, wait, no.
No, Zimmerman and I can't remember the other culprits. But anyhow, I can't see what you're doing on the other screen, so I'm not sure what you're deciding to do there.
Hang on one second. Colin had asked why are we bringing five center backs. Quite frankly, the last window against Jamaica, we had 5 center backs.
Honestly,
we can only go with consistency, assuming that we're going to be playing in the attack with 3 more or less back players. And
you can add Scally to the center back role. He's playing right center back. He's not playing right back.
Yeah. Well, no, okay, yeah. Well,
so that's another interesting twist. If he plays, because I do think we could see Remus left center back, McKenzie in the middle, and Richards is right center back. And then outright as the wing backs, you have Musa and Jedi. Right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I got Jedi. I have Musa pushed up a little higher there, but yeah. But we're center backs right now.
Is it possible Scally doesn't even make the team? No, I think he makes it probably. So
there's 0.0 chance Scally does not get included here.
All right, Brett, on this one, I think Richards plays right center back. I think Scally sits the bench. Honestly, I do. And I think Ream starts at left center back. McKenzie starts at center back. And Richards starts at right center back.
I don't know. Richards was in the Jamaica window, but he didn't start over Scally.
Richards wasn't healthy.
Oh. Still, I don't know.
I do. I'm telling you, Richards has been playing right center back for Crystal Palace for 7-8 games in a row and started looking
that's fine.
really good.
I'm thinking Ream's going to be getting worked out in the end. Huh.
Playing Richards as a left center back seems like a crazy idea. That's more of a trusty position. That's what Trusty plays and did play, when he was in the Premier League.
You could put Richards in center. McKenzie's played out left before.
You could. But what I think I'm saying is realistic. I do think Richards is going to play right center back. I think Scally's...
You're more than welcome to have that opinion. And I'm going to have my opinion. So
I think Scally's sitting the bench.
Okay.
I do. Now that Richards is back and he's healthy and he's played 7 games and he's an actual right center back, where Scally's a converted right back, playing right center back because we didn't have Richards, we didn't have Trusty, and we didn't have CCV or anybody else. We were really down to nubs at that point.
Okay.
All right. I'm just telling you, I disagree with this.
Here's what I think is going to end up happening. I think they're going to come out with a lineup. They're going to show the lineup from US Soccer as a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. You're still going to have Jedi out left. You're going to have Scally out right. Scally's just not going to push up in the attack. I don't think you're going to see Richards.
Yes, that's what we've been saying for weeks on this show. That's bullshit. It's full of shit.
I agree. I'm just saying, I don't think Scally's going to get removed.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you think Scally was a fill-in? He was a fill-in, Brett. We were missing Richards. Richards was injured. Why would you start Scally at right center back? What, for God honest reason, would you do that when you have a guy starting in the Premier League, playing every single game for 2 months straight now, and doing really well playing as a right center back? I'm just baffled by that.
There.
You're sticking Richards in the middle.
Why not?
Okay.
Listen. I don't think. I don't know.
You're really.
I think we're breaking away. I think we're breaking away from Ream.
I don't mind you breaking away from Ream.
Okay.
And so what I would tell you, what the real lineup is going to be at this point, is going to be 3 actual center backs playing center back. And I think Scally's out, and I think Richards goes to the right, McKenzie goes to the middle, and Trusty goes out to the left, where he played for 27 games for Sheffield United.
That's perfectly fine for you to say that, but again, Scally has experience with the national team. He's been good ever since Copa, playing in the back line as a defender. Trusty hasn't done shit. Why in the world would you just immediately throw him in to the starting lineup at this point?
Okay, that's fine. So we'll leave this as is. But Brett, take a photo, baby, because we're going to do receipts later.
It's more likely that Ream would start over Trusty.
Yes, my actual lineup is Ream out left, McKenzie in the middle, and Richards out right. That's my starting lineup, and I guarantee you that's what's happening. Guarantee it right here. I will eat crow if that is not the case. I will eat it. I will eat it. It will be Ream, McKenzie, and Richards starting. Scally will hit the bench. He will. Musa will play out as a right wing back.
Literally the same lineup that we created like a week ago. You had no problem with that lineup that we just had a second ago.
I have changed my mind.
That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. We know that you're, go with the win type of guy.
No, I'm not.
I'm going to just. I
don't go with any win.
Maybe Sarge will play back there next time.
I am the win, baby.
I don't think Scally's going to get usurped at that spot. Really,
I do. Anyhow, we'll keep that in mind. We'll see. I can't wait for the starting lineup to come out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, Brett. This is going to make this so much more fun. And I love it when we disagree because it makes it more fun.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, on those times where we disagree on lineups, I tend to be right more often.
Oh, come on.
I do. I've texted you multiple times before and say, "Hey, look who's there."
I think I've done it to you as well. Maybe not as many times.
That's fair. But maybe this will be your one time. You got it. Derek, I have faith in you. You might get right once.
I'm going to nail this one.
Okay, we're going to move on from the defense talk here.
All right. By the way, Ream's a distributor. Gonna need that.
Sure.
Gonna need that. Nobody else back there. McKenzie can move the ball forward and distribute. But out of the center back position, that's kind of hard to do. And Richard's not really a distributor.
That's fine. We'll hold on to Ream until the 2034 World Cup because we have no distributors on our back line.
All right, but he wants to win this.
I'm just saying that you can use that as an excuse. And I don't disagree with you that Ream's a distributor, although he's been kind of shoddy with us of late. Not necessarily the Camp Cupcake. He was actually much better in the Camp Cupcake. But prior to that, he's been shoddy distributing for us of late.
Oh, man, look at this BMR. Derek has eaten a lot of crow. No, I have not. And Derek, take a deep breath. This is how I always am. I'm not going to take a deep breath.
He was not. Okay, no. He's saying I'm pushing a false narrative. He said Scally was shit versus Jamaica. That's bullshit. Don't BS there.
It ain't going to be Scally. I'm just telling you. This is going to be dropped. But anyhow, go ahead. We're just going to agree to disagree.
Nope, that's fine. I agree with this. I agreed to disagree with you about 5 minutes ago, but you kept talking about it.
Just telling you, I had to give you my reasoning.
Ream's a left-footed distributor. That's all you told me.
What? Okay, what are we doing next? All right, because I'm reading BMR. I only remember seeing Derek eat crow, not Brett. I make more wild predictions.
Derek and I both ate crow with Acosta back in 2019.
Whenever else have we ate crow? When? I did it one time
crow with Gio at Forest, I think. Right?
I didn't really.
Well, sure. You had a chicken wing. I know.
The whole debate was whether or not he was injury prone and that he was going to get injured somehow at Nottingham Forest. Remember, that's why we brought Tact on the show and had that debate with him about injury prone.
Maybe it was just the injury prone thing that occurred later on, like his time at Dortmund. He picked up that injury over the summer.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe that's what it was.
That maybe. Yeah. All right. You got Jedi correct out left.
Yeah. You got McKinney, Adams, and Musa.
And you're right to pinch Jedi in because he'll do that to support Adams at times as we move forward. Moose will be all up and down that right wing. So Jedi will also be right up and down that left wing. But when we possess it on the right side, don't be surprised to see Jedi pinch into the middle and play another like ahead of Adams because Adams is going to cover that.
It's just how I had it lined up. It's
as McKinney goes even further forward, right?
Yep.
So, yep. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't actually think we're bringing anybody in to replace Jedi.
No,
it's two games. No. I think our midfield and our attack's gonna be a more prevalent necessity for subs.
Yeah, I don't know who you would even bring in, honestly. You're not bringing in, well, I mean, you look at who the options were.
Could be Fossey.
Nah, I just don't see it.
That's right. I do have the list pulled up here, don't I? So, yeah, you have Jones. Not worrying about Tolkien. Not worrying about Arfson, to tell you the truth.
Nope. No more. No Fossey. Nah. I mean, I've been kind of won over by people who have responded to me and sent me messages. I agree. I think this is a position that can be filled by other players if, in fact, there's some sort of calamity that occurs. So,
yeah, and that's basically the talking point for most people who aren't necessarily bringing a replacement, and maybe Poach does.
Yeah,
maybe he does bring a Fossey, a Moore, or a Jones. Although I'm hoping no.
Well, Sam Kingery saying get Moose out. This isn't our picks. It's not how we were necessarily would set up. We're just trying to give you what Poach is going to do, and that's still very difficult to do, by the way. But we're trying to be as realistic about how Poach has played so far in all the games and how he's set up and what he's going to bring to this tournament.
So, yeah. So,
if you don't like Musa personally, that's fine. But this is the position that he has played consistently under Poach.
Yeah.
Right wing back.
Yeah. The alternative to Musa there would be what in that sense? We'd be looking at Weah, Zendejas,
even Aronson could play out there if you needed to.
I wouldn't expect that to be it though, but yeah, you could.
But you could.
I mean, if you take Moose out, Weah could fill that role nicely actually because Musa is more of an advanced wingback, and what we are considering this situation as a wingback.
But you're taking Weah out of the offense, then
he'd be running that sideline and lacing the crosses across the box.
Right. But he'd have significant defensive duties.
Correct. I mean, I like Weah out on the left, to tell you the truth, simply because I've said this before. His ability to cut into the box and then shoot with his right foot is what we want. We want to in and around that box.
Can we show what this looks like in defense with the starting 11?
Sure.
You pull Jedi back. You pull, yes and yes.
And then, just pinching back type of things.
Yeah, and then sometimes a little wider than that, but yeah. That's what it looks like on defense.
And
so,
too, but yeah.
Right. But Pulisic and Weah will kind of be responsible between Adams and Musa. They'll be responsible to pick up the ball there. And don't be surprised if they switch Weah and Pulisic back and forth. He's done that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. Again, as we said with Poach and even with Berhalter prior, but Pulisic just gets the keys. Here you go. How about it?
So often Pulisic will end up coming back all the way, right in front of Musa, but not all the way in front of Musa, but it turns into a 5-4-1 almost on defense, right there. Yeah, kind of right there. And Weah will do the same thing on the other side, and then Sargent will hover somewhere in the circle, right on defense.
Yeah.
No Johnny.
No Johnny. Who are you gonna swap out?
Well, as far as backups go, I think Johnny Cardoso's nailed down the backup to Adams role.
Yeah, and the real way to get Johnny into this is this right here.
Yeah, but exactly. That's not happening.
Yeah.
If we played an actual 4-2-3-1, then you got to have Johnny in a double pivot, but we're not going to do that. I guarantee it.
I'd be fine. I'd be fine with the double pivot again if Des was back.
Yes,
and he's playing where Scally is right now.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, perfectly fine with that.
Yep.
I think again, we can only go off of what we've seen of him of Poach recently, and that only is the Jamaica window.
And
most recent.
I watched the Batiste game where Johnny was amazing versus Real Madrid. So we know Johnny's a baller. There's no doubt. He's got baller all in him.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to be realistic about what we think Poach is going to do. And so far, these are the players he's favored.
Yeah.
All right. The backup to Sargent. Why don't we just start at the top and go down? That's all.
That's the easiest, right?
That's
all right.
For me, I'm saying Dominic Downs. There's a little hope in there, but
I think. I would like to, just in the sense that he's been included. That you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe Poach really wants to get a look at him now. It could just be a nice little pat on the back, saying, "Hey, you made the 60. We're keeping eyes on you." But people are sitting here hoping that, maybe if he's been included, that means that he's really interested in, incorporating.
I mean, he's only getting 10 to 15 minutes a game, even if he does play.
True. The only other alternative at this point, and listening to Jimmy and Chuck talk about our forward depth is really going to be Vasquez.
Yeah, I'm not taking Aguiman.
Aguiman could, but he's lacking that hold-up play. So, I mean, he's a different type of striker than Sargent would be and Vasquez would be.
So, we'll see how much the January camp sorcery worked on Poach's mind. Yeah. If he really saw that as sort of this transformational moment. Because if that's the case, Downs is about to get fucked in the ass because he plays in Bundesliga too, which a lot of people say is not that great of a league. But Köln is the best team into Bundesliga. They're essentially a Bundesliga 1 team in waiting.
Yeah.
So.
And historically. So.
Yeah. And historically, yeah. In the Bundesliga, historically.
Yeah.
Kind of up and down these days, but.
All right. So, Pulisic's replacement.
I do think Zendejas makes his team do.
Sure. I don't think it's going to be Pulisic, though.
I think he can play on either side, though, if you need to, but
prefer. So I think whenever Zendejas last played, didn't he come in for Musa, though? Musa's role?
He can't play right wing back in this formation, though. You're looking at the double 10s that we played that tend to drift out wide and inside and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I think you can, doesn't matter who we put here. You can put him under Weah, you can put him under Pulisic, but
I agree with you that I think Zendejas is probably going to get another call. I mean, he's playing
lights out
for America to not get another call here.
Yep.
I mean, he's just a man on fire, but okay.
I mean, we can put him on under either one. It doesn't matter. The tougher one is going to be the third one. Because you can't call Apagi. He's not on the preliminary. Who we calling as the other winger?
Busters. You got BA, you got Reyna, you got Luna.
No.
Cole Campbell. It's a nice inclusion, and I think I would like to have Cole Campbell into camp. I'm not necessarily saying this camp by any means.
Vasilov. No, I'm kidding. It's going to probably be Brennan Aronson. As far as your AM wings, he can do either, and he can play that since that's actually in Poach's system almost a double 10. Yeah, it's probably going to be Aronson. I would love to say Paxton Aronson, but I think people are preliminary Aronson adjacent. Yeah, go ahead.
I imagine you're going to have Gio in here somewhere. Are you assuming backup to McKinney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, we no Cardoso's here. Cardoso.
Yep.
So this is where it's gonna be interesting because we are. I'll just do the count here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. We have 2 more. So we need a wide. We need
another wide player, don't we? Or are we bringing in more? I mean, do you really think Tessman's going to make it as another midfield option? I think he's been starting, 3 games in a row for Lyon?
He could be. I mean, yeah.
Poach is
he did well with last time, though.
And he lauded him quite a bit, said some really nice things about him, and now he's playing, even though today's game was kind of meh. But for Tessman, I think he makes this team.
Still need a wingback, though.
Well, I'm just saying, just to get rid of one of the 2.
Sure. We can add Tessman in with Cardoso there.
Because I think he can play the 6 or the 8 if you need him to. Right?
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
Even though
McKinney is the sub for McKinney.
And then Cardoso can actually play a 6 or an 8.
Sure.
Right? And we got Gio in there, so we need one more. One more. Let's go back to the list real quick so we don't miss anybody. let's look at like who's being left out that definitely should be making this team. And like if they don't, he doesn't. We're insane. I mean, is this an opportunity to throw a young guy like Cole Campbell on this lineup?
I mean, if we're looking for a wingback, we could be looking at Fossey. Because ultimately, you could throw anybody out there. I mean, like you said, we have Way could play there, McKinney could play there.
Could play it wide. Yeah, McKinney could do it. Nobody's talking trash about Tessman, Colin Reese. Nobody's talking trash about Tessman. Just said today's game was meh. I've seen him play better. Damn. Picking this last slot's hard. Because so many guys could also optionally play in that double 10. Reyna could do that if you really needed him to. Aronson. So many interchangeable positions right now. I'm just looking at.
Not that we necessarily need another 10 there in that sense, but I mean, again, Zendejas could play out wide. He's not that role in mind.
How about a guy that can do it all? Paxton Aronson.
Can't play wingback.
He can't. That's true. I guess in an emergency situation, you could move McKinney back there, but
so I don't know. It's one of those things. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach does pick Luna based off of the drive he gave in that game. I like what Luna brings. I don't know who I'd necessarily take out in the eyes of Poach, quite frankly.
I think you
and
may
then
have.
Don't forget Miljevic could also be included here.
I mean, it's so possible though. You're so.
I mean, does Miljevic get brought in over like a Cardoso or a Tessman?
No, but he still could make the team regardless because we've really filled out the needs.
We could end up losing one of our center backs.
Yeah, we could.
I mean, again, this isn't necessarily us picking these people in these spots. We're trying to pick what we think is going.
We're trying to pick what he's going to do, and he does love Miljevic. I would not be shocked if he ends up somehow on this roster, even if he doesn't play. He seems to love that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he brought him back from the dead from January camp. Like, he brought Miljevic from the dead onto this team.
Resurrected him.
Yeah.
On the third day, he rose.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I mean, he's not a like replacement for anybody. But does he just make the team anyhow as a double pivot 10? As another option? Because, as you said, Weah can play Moose's position if he needs to. Aronson, in a pinch. But, Miljevic is another option as an offensive player. Seems like overkill, honestly. It really does.
I mean, unless he just doesn't give Zendejas a call up and goes with I don't see Brendan leaving, just because Poach likes him some Brendan.
Yes.
I mean, we've talked about Zendejas, but it's also possible that could be one of the chopping blocks. If we talk about Miljevic,
I just think he calls up Miljevic, and we can't fit him in any slot here that we have left that's open for the jollies, kicks, and strokes of it all. I hate to say that, but I really think that's what's going to happen. Gio/Miljevic.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other player essential for what Poach does and what he wants to do with his team that we're missing here. Who am I missing? Who are we missing? Let us know. Who's
the goalkeeper shot? I think we're more than covered on center backs. We may be overcovered in center back, quite frankly.
Yep.
Having 5 plus Scally seems a bit overkill.
I mean, the only person I think, as you mentioned earlier, that might be getting shafted here is Fossey.
And that would be a like for like in that Musa role, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be. I'm pretty sure that's who we picked too.
Before we did, yes.
Yeah, but we also picked Jones for Robinson, assuming that he was going to bring 1-for-1.
Just all these rumors of people saying that Miljevic's going to make this 23. Maybe I'm being corrupted by that. Maybe Fossey just really will make the team. But God, everybody's talking about, oh yeah, Miljevic, he's doing great in Argentina, and he is doing fine. But I don't know. Maybe your earlier shout out to Fossey was the right idea. And it may be the right idea, but it just may not happen.
Yeah. I think we may be speculating on the Miljevic part, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's just a lot of rumor mill bullshit. Who knows? Anyhow, for the 226 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. We do appreciate you showing up on a Thursday night when all this great soccer between Miami and Cavalier was going on. FC in the Champions Cup.
Here was our 23 the first time we did this. This is before Horvath's last game, though. So he was not included. We had Schulte and Stefan, no coaching.
Yeah, that's unimportant. I think the thing is we got the whole Musa Fossey thing right.
We had so we lost a center back. We picked up Busio instead of Miljevic.
Yeah.
Jones. So
we'll keep both of these so we can be right twice.
Yeah. And guess what? Both of them include Scally at the right center back.
We'll see about that, Brett.
Yeah.
All right. We'll just leave it as is. We have 2 picks.
And real quick, I wanted to just go over a couple of other people's lineups real quick.
Derek,
So
have you ever watched an Argentinian league game? I have. I've watched more than a handful. You can now find those games. You can find them if you want to watch them. So now, have I watched Miljevic play? No, I just look at his stats. I can't. I've never been able to watch a game with him, but I know that he was kind of one of the leaders on the team that he got fired from earlier, where I'm not leaders as in like possession on that team before he was fired. Yeah, you can find that shit on Paramount Plus, which is just fucking awesome. But I have not spent the time to go watch a Miljevic game this season. Not happened. No. I got too many other games to watch.
All right, so Doug McIntyre's lineup, a roster.
Okay.
Turner, Schulte, and Stefan, which kind of coincides with our first pick. Let's see, here we got Jedi, Richards, Ream, Scally, McKenzie, Miles, TCV.
Okay. I don't like the Miles pick, but it could happen.
I can see it. I can definitely see it happening, yeah.
Me too.
So we got Tyler Adams, McKinney.
That's fine.
Musa, Cardoso, Tessman, Reyna, Aronson.
Okay. Yep.
BA in the midfield, huh? Pulisic, Weah, Sargent, Zendejas, Vasquez, and Aguiman. He's bringing 3 forward, man.
I don't think they're taking 3.
Maybe he's hoping that Aguiman will play out wide as an option, kind of like a Haji Wright.
Oh yeah. He's really suited for that. No,
well,
he's not.
Okay. I guess let me rephrase that because I was thinking more along the lines of like the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3 we used to play. That's not the Weah and Pulisic role right now is not the same that we used to play in the back. So that take that back.
Yeah, Patrick Aguiman couldn't hold Haji Wright's ball sack right now as far as the left wing position goes. Oh, he could, but it'd be really bad. It wouldn't be enough support. So it's too early. Can't do it.
Here you go.
All right.
We got another one here. It's a 3-4-2-1, which somebody's listening to us.
Thankfully.
So we got Sargent, Pulisic, Reyna.
Okay. That's possible.
Then he's got the Way and the Musa role.
Mm-hmm.
Jedi Adams McKinney.
Yep.
Good so far.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Richardson Scally.
Ah!
Turner. Okay.
Okay. Totally believable based on what we've seen from Poach before. Yes.
Yeah. It's very
But
possible.
thank you for getting the formation correct. That I appreciate more than anything else. I really do.
And then Pete. Let's talk about Pete's.
He's got Turner, Schulte, and Cochin. It's very possible. Again, this is sort of the position you just don't waste your much time with. There's no point. Fullbacks. Sorry, but Scally's not going to be playing a fullback, and Dest ain't showing up because he wasn't on the preliminary roster. And the way this works is that if you're not on the 60-man preliminary roster, you can't be on the roster.
Plus, he's just not back. He's not back to PSV anyways. Even if he was on the 60-man roster, he's not back at PSV yet. I mean, he's training, but that's about it.
So even labeling this as fullback at this point, also not proper. We're talking about, if we're really looking realistically at what Poach is going to do, this is our wing backs, not fullbacks. And it would just be Robinson and it would just be Musa.
Yeah.
Because Scally's a center back. I mean, I would really love
Ream, Richards, and CCV.
I would love this to all be true.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing we had differently was CCV or Trusty.
Yep. Or Trusty over CCV.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Which one? This one or that one?
Mm-hmm.
Reyna, McKinney, Aronson, Cardoso, Adams, and Paxton.
I would love Paxton to make this team. I just couldn't figure out a way to squeeze him on.
We know Tessman.
Mm-hmm. And because Poach has verbally showered Tessman with his own jizz, I think we're going with Tessman. Yeah.
This is a weird thing, though, because he has Musa listed as a wide forward, and they don't necessarily play. He definitely doesn't play that role. I mean, he is more wide than, say, Pulisic is, so maybe Pulisic should be listed as a pure 10.
This is the failure to embrace the 3-4-2-1.
Be one of us.
I mean, he did talk about sort of embracing that, but then sort of talked about how it still could be for the back. But
because I mean, it's otherwise it's very likely that we have Pulisic, Weah, and Musa out on the pitch at the same exact time. It happened against Jamaica. So
yeah, Musa's playing right wing back. He's not a wide forward. He is wide, but he's not a wide forward. He's a right wing back. Just go watch the game. You will see him track back and play on defense in a back five.
Now,
Scally doesn't move. Scally plays right center back the whole game. Never goes forward. Does nothing going forward.
Now, I'll say, even though Jedi does get into the attack in those games, he did pinch in more as a dual 6 or dual pivot, at least, with Tessman.
Yeah.
But Musa did habitually play up higher on the pitch consistently.
Yes, because
the two fullbacks played completely different too.
There were no fullbacks. You mean
wingbacks? Sorry, wingbacks.
Yeah. So when the ball was out right, Jedi would pinch into the middle as Musa went further up the field and he supported Tessman in the middle. You'll see the same thing in this game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see a lot of movement of players. We saw so much interchanging going on.
It was almost difficult to even come up with how it was, but you had to look at the big picture in the end. Instead of saying, okay, where did most people play consistently?
Musa plays wide and also goes forward. Therefore, he's a wide forward. Laughing my ass out. I don't know if you're laughing at Pete.
Well, maybe.
He might be. He does, but on defense, he drops all the way back into a back five. That's what he did. You can go watch and review the tape. It's there all for all to see.
Fallen Phoenix says Pulisic's carrying a knock, not 100%. Maybe we should rest him for Panama. The game's not for another 14 days.
He'll be fine.
He'll be good. He'll be good.
And whatever
so AC Milan doesn't overuse him.
And yeah, and it's funny because they announced that he had this injury prior to the game. They played him the full 90. All right, and then they played him 90. So what's going on there? All right. I know, San Fran. We were wondering if you're just laughing at Pete. Listen, I just want to be really clear. I love Pete. As a person, we're friends. And so just because I disagree with Pete about this does not mean that I don't love Pete. I love Pete. Not that kind of love. Not man love. But like friendship love. Like he's a great guy. We have a lot of good conversations.
It's how all good relationships start, Derek.
Right. Well, I just haven't had the time because we talked about other things to talk about this formation disagreement yet. And so we will, and I'll bring it up. We'll bring him on the show. But it does seem that Tact has acquiesced completely to what we were talking about, which is the 3-4-2-1. Like he's on board. Tact is now fully on board with what we're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Tact ain't putting out any more back four formations for this prediction. Yeah. This is good. This is progress, but there is no reason that all three of us need to agree on everything. And if we do disagree, that's good news because then that's good banter that we can have back and forth between, but it's all going to be in good fun and good harmony because we are all friends with one another. It's not personal. Yeah. Just want to be really sure. So people are like, oh, Derek's saying you're fucking an asshole wrong. You're like a fucking total dumbass. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we're right and on this one and that they'll catch up. And Tac's already there, right? Tac's there. He got it. He's already talking about the formation. Not that he gives a shit what we say. He might have got there on his own, for all we know. Doesn't matter. All right.
So yeah, Derek and I disagree, and then we don't talk to each other until the night before the next show.
That's not true, though. We're texting. It's not true. We're texting. We text about a lot of shit that has nothing to do with soccer, too. So there's that. Politics. Funny shit going on. What'd you send me yesterday? You sent me a bunch of shit. Anyhow, it doesn't matter.
Probably stuff not to bring up on the show.
Derek, it can still be true, and you're friends with him. Yes. Derek, why do you hate Pete? I love Pete.
No. It's nothing big, but the Arab leader has approved a $53 billion plan for Palestine. That's
Who did? Who did?
The Arab leaders.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that wasn't much of talk about politics, but it was more current events, if anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's promising. I mean, all that shit's going to need to be rebuilt at some point, but they got to fix a lot of other shit before that happens. So hopefully it gets fixed. And that was what their whole point was. We want to keep them where they are. But then the politics, something politically needs to get fixed too. Because you can't build a beautiful land that's just going to get bombed again, right? That's not going to work. So that's got to get fixed. All right. Derek is Pete's tobacco pusher. I am not Pete's tobacco pusher at all. I would love to just stop smoking altogether. That would be a really good thing for me. Okay. Not going to say that. All right. We're not getting into politics in this show. We're not doing it. You guys do what you do, and we support whatever you want to do. So you guys be you. That's what's important here. All right. Derek said he wants to fuck Pete in the asshole. Well,
this is just because they posted in that chat doesn't mean you have to read it from the chat.
Fuck Pete too. Derek, you need to back up. Just let me know. I know Pete hangs around here in Chicago. You just said the word and I can fix him. Just kidding. I love Pete too. What the fuck is going on out there? All right. Listen, we've known all these guys for a long time now. This we're talking years, guys. If it were like 3 months that we knew Pete and Tack, be a different thing. But this is an alliance. We have an alliance, and regardless of how much we disagree with each other, we will never call them fake. What did Jake call us? Fake.
Below the basement journalists?
Below the basement reporters, or whatever he said. That's never going to happen, because those guys, they're in it for the love of this game. Bottom line. And that's why you need to be in this whole setup. All right. We're going to call it a night, right, Brett? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks to all, 250 of you who were here. We do appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandmother if she's still alive. If not, God bless her. Whatever your stepsister picked, whatever loop that was, you need to go with that and respect her feelings about that. Not her feelings, but her kind of technical, needs. Really, in the bottom line, that's what's important. All right. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, we'll see you Monday. Have a fucking great weekend.
That hurt.
I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, it's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you?